Wow. Mercy. Your brother from the gutter, the slick one, is back behind the wood, the open bar. Yeah, making them nice and stiff for you tonight. A few double shots, triple sec, you name it, we got it. So, yeah, I'm coming in here on the eve of the last game ever at Highmark Stadium, which is tomorrow against the Jets. Josh Allen is going to play. You know, he wants to get he's got a consecutive starting streak going, which is, I think, over 100. And he's got a touchdown mark he wants to reach, which is going to be 40. I think he's got 39. Now, I don't know if they're going to keep him until he scores a touchdown, but they'll probably at least let him play a series or two, or maybe the first half. Who knows what they're going to do, but it would suck. Yeah, I'm just saying, I would err on the side of caution. You don't want to get him, fucked up for the playoffs. You know what I mean? He was banged up pretty good last week, so. But they say he's fine now. But they always say that. Can you really trust these people? I think not. However, tomorrow is the last game. A lot of reminiscing, telling stories about going to games and some of the great games they saw. There was a video I saw on YouTube where they did a interview with Thurman Thomas. Chris Berman came to town, and they all sat around in the locker room. Chris Berman had like a wing back leather chair in the locker room. I don't know how the fuck that happens. But, and he's sitting there with Tasker, Kelly, and who else was there? Tasker, Kelly, and Thurman. And they were all telling stories. Chris Berman was relating games back to him. Remember when you did this? Remember when that happened? And they were talking about the Oilers game. And, you forget that, the great comeback with Frank Reich, that not only did Jim Kelly not play in that game, but Thurman did not play in that game, and Bruce Smith did not play in that game, and neither did Darryl Talley. So amazing they pulled that game off. But just a lot of cool stories, and I did a little research myself. Now, I went to a few games in the old rock pile with my old man, and I told you the one time we came out and our car antenna was busted off. But, yeah, and so got to see OJ play there when he was a rookie. And I was just talking to my buddy, Kevin. We've been friends since we were 4 years old. We're, long time. And we were saying, look, remember we went to that Monday night game. We took a bus. Who the hell did we go with? And then we, we're both going senile here. So it took a couple of minutes. And then, oh, yeah, it was against the Chiefs. It was a Monday night game, so I did a little research, and it turns out that was in the first season that Rich Stadium was open, 1973. So I was there to break cherry in the rookie year of the stadium. Stadium opened in August. This is October 29th. This Monday night football game took place, in which O'Day is innocent. O'Day was framed. But OJ rushed for like 150 yards or something like that, and he hit the 1,000 mark. Now, this is October 29th. I mean, the season's not like halfway over, and he's already at 1,000. And this is when they only played 14 games. So, yes, OJ might have been a psychopath, but he was a hell of a running back. I mean, Fergie said that. He said, when people came to the stadium, wasn't to see me. I was a nobody. It was to see OJ. It was pretty electric, that period. Then you had the Knox period, which it always pisses me off that they kind of skate by that. Because the talking plowed era. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we were pretty good there for a while. We had Chuck Knox, right? He took over. The team was in the shitter, and then he got into the playoffs, and we beat Miami for the first time in fucking 10 years. And then the strike happened in '82, and then that, everything was downhill. They wouldn't give Knox a raise, and he told Ralph to, sit on this and spin. You're not going to give me a raise, fuck you. So he left and he went to Seattle. And that's how we ended up with Kay Stevenson and Hank Bulla and all those fucking geniuses. And then he got lucky I think Terry Bledsoe was the manager, and he had a heart attack, the general manager. So Polian got the gig, and he lucked into that. I mean, Ralph was no genius. I mean, he's hired people he got lucky a couple times, but he got lucky with Polian and Marv. He went through a lot of bums, too, and he fired some people he shouldn't have fired. Having said that, did a lot for the community. That's an understatement. With charity and stuff, I mean, it's off the hook. The money that he left this community. But as an owner, some of the moves he made, I thought were, at times stupid or short-sighted. But in any event, it's going to be a bummer. The new stadium will be nice for those of you that can afford it. Me, I'll probably, somebody will have a ticket someday, and I'll go, yeah, sure, I'll go. Are you buying? I'm going. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So, farewell, Rich Stadium. Oh, the cops are also saying not to steal anything because they're going to have, the badge is going to be out in force, and they're even going to be undercover looking for people that are, maybe trying to, I don't know. What are you going to do? What are you going to steal? They're saying they don't want people. They think people are going to run down on the field, start cutting it up, or tearing down the goalposts. But wouldn't that be awesome if they did? Who knows? It could happen. But they're telling people not to do it. They'll be able to buy souvenirs online from the Bills. They'll send you a 2-inch by 2-inch piece of the turf for $100. So I mean, it's a real steal. So. Yeah, I was there, by the way, when they tore down the goalpost when they beat the Jets for the playoffs, or was it the division title? I can't remember, in '88. I was there with my dad, and that was the last game we ever went to. He passed away a couple years later. But been to some great games at that stadium. They talked about the Chiefs game where Bruce Smith knocked Montana out, and the Denver game, how we got who was it that got the pick and ran it in for a touchdown? Leonard Smith, maybe, I think. But some great fucking games and good times, and we will miss the Ralph.
You're goddamn right.
One of the other things they were saying about the Ralph is that it's one of the few football stadiums left in the NFL or anywhere, evidently, that still has a single tunnel where both teams go up and down the same tunnel. And so I was going to talk about the Sabres. I never talk about the Sabres, but they've been on a fucking hot streak, 10-game winning streak. It's like only the fourth time in the franchise history since 1970 that they have won 10 games or more in a row. And I say that, and they just lost tonight. But evidently they, looks like they might be on the right path. They've got the new general manager that I guess is kicking some ass over there and taking some names. Who knows? He might be another Punch Imlach. I was talking to Robitaille one time, and I mentioned Punch Imlach, and he's like, he said, that guy was the worst. He would walk around with a one-way bus ticket hanging out of his lapel, just to intimidate people. Yeah, those were the good old days, huh? And WTF, what happened? What the hell happened in Switzerland? Did you hear about this? The tragedy over there? Sparklers on top of champagne bottles and a foam ceiling. What could go wrong with that? Sparklers and foam ceilings. This is the same thing that happened back in 2003 to the Station nightclub. Pyrotechnics, foam insulation, it's the same fucking thing. It's a flashover fire. I think 100 people were trapped in that and died. And this one here, there's 40 people that have died so far, and 100 people are burned. They had to actually send them to other countries. They didn't have enough burn units in Switzerland to handle all these people. But you would think that people would get smart at some point and maybe make some kind of sound acoustics that are non-flammable. Maybe that should be a fucking law, that the acoustic foam in nightclubs should be, maybe that should be a building code. Maybe it has to be fireproof. Maybe somebody should fucking invent a fireproof soundproofing or sound acoustics. Sad, very sad story that happened over there in Switzerland, which is also the place where some stupid with a flare gun almost burned the joint to the ground.
Socially, he fits in somewhere between a hooker and a bartender.
Oh, there's the closing bell. It is time to check the Cumulus Broadcasting stock price. Alexa, what is the latest Cumulus Media stock price?
When the market closed on Friday, Cumulus Media traded at 7 U.S. cents on the OTC markets, down 6.7% since previous close.
They're eating the dog.
And, of course, no Slickcast would be complete without talking about Mango Mussolini. Donald Trump, he's always up to something, and, he did something a little crazy. Yeah, he invaded Venezuela and then, of course, kidnapped the leader of the country, who was corrupt as hell, and his old lady, who was, if Trump is invading Venezuela, there's something in there that he's going to get rich off somehow. The oil companies were chased out of there years ago. They left some of their rigs and their equipment behind, and I guess they had contracts with Venezuela at one time until I can't think of the last asshat that was dictator there for a lot of years, chased him out of the country. So, this is Trump giving props to the oil companies who helped them get elected to big oil. And so they're going to go back there and try to, I guess it's in quite the state of disrepair, the whole Venezuelan oil setup that they have there. The equipment is fucking old. It doesn't work. Shit doesn't. So Trump is going to, just have these telling Exxon and these oil companies to go back and get their shit, and they can fix it up. Like they're going to be in a rush to do that. There's no stable government in the country. They could send their workforce over there and they could get, shot or something, or blown up, or who the fuck knows what. Don't forget, in Iraq, when we invaded Iraq, people were throwing flowers at us for like the first 3 weeks. Then after that, they were throwing Molotov cocktails at us. So, and this is a jungle. This is no desert. So the warfare is not easy. It's like Vietnam. You're talking dense jungles is what they are. And you can't just, drop drones on people and shit like you can in the desert. You can see it from a fucking mile away. So this is not something where we want to get our forces on the ground into this. And you can't change things from just bombing either. So, I think this is just another stupid thing where they're not thinking this through. They're just not thinking this through. They're just looking at the dollar signs is what they're doing. And this guy, okay, yeah, he trafficked cocaine. Big deal. Is he a bad guy? Sure, he's a bad guy. Saddam Hussein was a bad guy, but he didn't attack us on 9/11. It's not our job to go around the fucking world getting rid of every bad guy. I thought that's what Trump was against, nation building and all that. But like I said, follow the money. There's going to be some kind of deal where he's going to make money off of this, just like Dick Cheney made mucho dinero off of the Iraq war with Halliburton. So in some backdoor way, Trump is getting rich off of this somehow. And of course, he's paying back the oil companies for, I don't know, they spent a lot of money to get him elected. So.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
All right, let's talk about the latest Epstein news. Did you see the article in the Wall Street Journal about the whole thing? Yes. Trump allegedly acted after an 18-year-old Mar-a-Lago spa worker reported sexual pressure. But that was way, way down the line. According to ex-staffers from both Mar-a-Lago and Epstein's Palm Beach estate who spoke to the Wall Street Journal, Trump's club spent years sending mostly young female spa employees to Epstein's crib for massages and other services, despite internal warnings that he behaved in sexually inappropriate ways, including but not limited to exposing himself.
You're a little pervert.
Now get this, Epstein wasn't a dues-paying club member, sources say, but Trump directed the staff to treat him as one, along with his recruiter or his pimp or whatever. She was the broad that recruited them all, Ghislaine Maxwell. Yeah, she'd see a nice-looking underage girl walking down the street. Oh, this looks like Jeffrey's type. Jump out of the car, go talk to the kid. You know, you should be a model, honey. You're very attractive. Let me give you my card. My boss is a very rich man. And don't forget, Epstein and Trump had all those fucking teen pageants and shit they'd be judges at. Come on. What the fuck? I mean, what does Trump have to do? Shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue? I mean, is that what he has to do? But Epstein would book these in-home visits from Mar-a-Lago Spa. And sources say those visits stopped in 2003 when an 18-year-old beautician returned from Epstein's house and told managers he had pressured her for sex. Also, several former employees say a manager faxed Trump a letter outlining the allegation and recommending Epstein be banned from the spa. Trump reportedly replied it was a good letter. It was a good letter, and ordered Epstein booted. The woman reported the incident to HR, to the club's HR department, it says here. But staffers say it never went to police. Nobody ever told the cops about it. You don't want to blow Jeffrey in. Palm Beach authorities didn't open a case on Epstein until 2 years later, when the parents of a 14-year-old came forward to accuse Epstein of child molestation. So they knew what was going on. I mean, all the girls were talking about it. It's just that it took one girl to go to HR and to write a letter and to put it on record before they did anything about getting rid of Epstein. Listen, both Epstein and Trump are just a couple of major league fucking creeps. Just a couple of major league rich billionaire fucking creeps. Super creeps. Not super freaks, super creeps.
It is out of sheer morbid curiosity I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
All right. Listen, that's all I got for now. I could go on and on, but, I don't pay myself that much. So I'm going to bail out right now. Don't forget, you can stream the Slickcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, and, of course, we originate out of Podbean and, YouTube as well. There's no video, unfortunately, but you will see my beautiful image as portrayed by Julia, who is, of course, our graphics genius from Lakewood Studios. If you need any graphics, any website work, that's who you call. Julia from Lakewood Studios. Tell her the Slick One sent you. And she'll probably hang up on you then immediately. In any event, listen, it's been real, it's been nice, but it ain't been real nice. I got to go. Live fast, die old, weed, whiskey, and Warren Zevon. And, of course, go Bills. Let's beat the damn Jets. Let's kick some ass for the final game at the Ralph. And remember, in the immortal words of Warren Zevon, there ain't no room on board for the insincere.
Hail to the king, baby.